Man, sorry about that, lads.
What's up, man?
Lads, sorry about that. I had to download the app and a few hurdles there. Sorry about that.
You're good,
No
man. No
worries.
worries. Hang on 1 second. So
Cheers.
sorry about that. I mean, I guess we got the time zones mixed up.
Do you know what actually happened before, lads? With someone, and I forgot all about it until it happened there. It's definitely GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, whatever that is. And I sent it on with someone before, and same crack. They're kind of like an hour late or whatever. I don't know what it is. I think the winter months and the summer months might be different, though. I don't know. It's something different there. So sorry about that again.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, no
No, it's
worries.
on us. You ready to get started?
Yeah, use walk away, boys. Whenever you're ready.
Sounds good, man. So you're in what part of Ireland right now?
I'm in Drogheda, County Louth, Ireland.
Okay. And you born and raised there?
Born and raised there, still living here and training out of I travel to Dublin every day. I'm about an hour's drive from the gym, SPG Ireland. So still training away between coming and to and from the gym to from Drogheda here. So yeah.
Okay. And I have family actually in Northern Ireland. You ever been like Armagh County outside of
Oh no
Belfast?
way. Yeah,
Yep.
no way, yeah, am I? Yeah, no, that'd be I'm in County Louth, Antrim, and then it's Armagh, so it'd be close to us, yeah. So it's only about maybe an hour's drive max, maybe, you know.
Yeah, both my grandparents are born and raised in Northern Ireland. Right now, I still have cousins, aunts, uncles. They still live in Portadown. You
Oh,
know,
no way, Portadown, yeah, yeah.
yep,
I know there, yeah.
yep, cool. And my grandfather, he was a dairy farmer in Northern Ireland.
Oh, yeah, if, be a lot of history there, and obviously with Northern Ireland, obviously the troubles and all that. I'm sure they told you all about it and
Yeah,
stuff
for
like that.
sure,
But yeah, yeah, there you go, man.
for sure, for sure. So, anyways, you had an extensive amateur career with almost 20 plus fights, and you've gained a lot of experience, obviously. Right now, you're fighting in Bellator.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, 24 amateur fights. And then I've had, what's that? 31 fights altogether between pro and amateur. So, yeah, it wasn't even like, it was all about experience for me. Obviously, you look at the records, the amateur record, 13 wins, 11 losses. And if you really delve into that, like, the records, you can see that I fought the who's and a lot of the pros that have a lot of pros have fought amateur now, and they're doing really well. And even some lads are knocking on doors of UFCs and doing well in other promotions and stuff, and undefeated and stuff. So if you really look into it, you can kind of see who have won and lost against, and that really mattered to me when I was amateur. I wanted to fight the best, and that obviously came from doing the IMAF tournaments and stuff and representing Ireland. And yeah, I think it really stood to me now, and I probably wouldn't be where I am in Bellator now without that experience or even the opportunity to start in Bellator.
Yeah. David, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I guess commenting on that, I guess if we got a young kid watching this, would planning saying, hey, I want to fight, would you suggest what you did, that extensive like amateur career before moving to the pro? Like you I guess like feel like that helped you like be 7-0, 8-0, make those runs in your pro career now?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I think I think it's everything. I said this before. Like you kind of I go to shows locally and stuff, helping the guys, obviously the amateurs out of the gym and stuff, and whether it be cornering and whatever, and coming to support. And you kind of hear some amateurs coming in after a fight, and they got a bit of a scratch, and they're like, oh, I'm not doing this for much long without getting paid. And then I'm just like, might had only 6 fights, and I'm just like, lads, if you're in this for the long haul, that should be your mentality. You should be trying to get as much experience as you can. I kind of like try to always compare it to like the amateur boxing scene in Ireland, and I'm sure around the world. Those lads have hundreds of fights. And obviously MMA is a different sport. I think the training's a lot more vigorous in the body when it comes to obviously wrestling and grappling and stuff. Injuries involved, but yeah, I think we just need to they really need to get that into their mind. That's why probably the Russians and the Dagestanis and all the Eastern Europeans are doing so well at amateur, the IMAFs and stuff, because they're doing it sambo the likes of since they're a young age, and that's what they're doing so well. And I think that it's starting to as UFC and Bellator are getting all these other those type of lads in there. You kind of seen how well they're doing because of that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you get connected with SBG in Ireland?
Well, obviously SBG is it's a well known, the most known gym in Ireland. You know, obviously due to the fact of probably obviously it's the most successful. But I started mixed martial arts in 2011, and my coach at the time, Conor Dunn, he actually, if you look at Conor McGregor's record, he actually fought my coach at the time, and that's how I kind of knew Conor. And that was like pre Cage Warriors days, or maybe Cage Warriors days before he won the belts and stuff. Obviously pre UFC and everything else, but. SPG and John, I mean, I don't have to get into it. Like, John was the first black belt, first professional fighter in Ireland, and yeah, as I started to take it serious, as I wanted to take it as a career, I said, you know what, we're best to do it better, than get up to SPG with the best in Ireland, so that was the clear transition for me then to go up there and, I want to have a proper crack at this and, start to make the before I started driving and all that, before I got actually didn't start driving until I went pro, until things started happening for me, getting buses and trams and stuff, and called the Lewis back here. But it's kind of funny, I'm actually Bellator promoting it back here, and I'm actually on the side of the tram, like, going through the city of Dublin, and it's gas. It kind of puts things into perspective, and it's just it's kind of nice to see that, you know what I mean? It's mad at the same time, but it just shows, starting from those beginnings to now I'm here, and hopefully just keep it going, doing well.
Yeah, for sure. Do you got any Bellator news? Any upcoming news with Bellator?
Not much, no. Like I said, just have the September fight coming up. Fighting in Dublin, obviously coming back there. Big card. I was in the main card last time. I'm in the prelims this time, and with the likes of someone like Peter Queally, Charlie Ward, Brian Moore that would have been on the main card, and just goes to show how stacked the card is. Obviously we've Johnny Elbin and Edwards fighting for the belt. So big fights coming up, and just love to be a part of it. To be honest, as you all know over there and here, everybody's big excitement for it. 10,000 fans always fill the arena, and it always delivers. I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool, man. David, you got anything?
Yeah, so as we just kind of went over, you were 7-0, and you've had 6 out of 7 of your fights in Ireland. What was it like, I guess, fighting out of Ireland and France for Bellator for the first time?
Yeah, man, it was actually during like the lockdowns. It was 2020, and yeah, it was all during the COVID, and it was actually the first ever event in Paris, in France. Sorry, MMA event in France. So it was great to be a part of that. And it was a 10,000 seated arena, but only like 1,000 people in it because of the restrictions. So I literally just felt like there was no one there. It was he was a French guy, and it was it really just it felt a lot different. You know what I mean? There was a lot less pressure. It felt like just a really hard spar, and it obviously went well. I got the win there, and it was a lot different to the Irish shows. Obviously, a lot more pressure, a lot more media. I don't normally get a lot of support from my hometown, 300 plus people, coming up from Drogheda, an hour's drive, taking their time off working and coming to support me. So it's obviously added pressure, but of course, there's an extra reason to get the win. But I think after this one, I've been calling for. I'd really love to get over to I really want to get over to the States. That's where it's at, and get over there and fight. And you mentioned there that Money has a family in Ireland. Well, my mother was born in America, and my grand is from there. So bit of the American roots in me. So I'd love to get over there and even just like that. I've only ever been on holiday, and I'd love to get over there and fight. And as I said, that's where it's at, and that's where I'm looking to get next year, hopefully.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, I guess. Like, would you want to fight in the United States? But like, what's a prime location, like an ideal location that you would want to fight in the United States?
Look, I think obviously people will say the main places, obviously California with Bellator, and San Jose obviously there, and I know they're based there, and all around. It doesn't really matter to me really where, because obviously over here to us, like America's cool, and we love to get over there to fight, and that's where it's at. As I said, that's the big leagues for us. And but I think a dream of mine would be, I know Bellator did it a few years ago, and I'm not sure if it's ever possible if they will go back or what is the story there. But that Madison Square Garden obviously is historic, and I'd love to fight there. I've never been to New York, and obviously to be a part of that, obviously they would think something of you. So yeah, I think that'd be a dream come true. But obviously, again, as I said, I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, it would definitely be. I think short-term goal is to fight in America. You know.
Yeah, we gotta tell Scott. We'll tag Scott Coker for you. We'll
I
tell
love
him.
that. Love that.
Yeah, we'll tell him we need to get you over here. We need maybe get you on like a Florida card or something. Come down here to Miami or something.
Oh man, I love Florida. I was there in 2018 for I was in Orlando, but I loved it there, man. It was it's class. Yeah, so like that, I'd love to fight there, and I think the girlfriend would love a little few days holiday after if I got the win or something, you know.
Yeah. Outside of fighting, it seems like you're pretty active with helping your community, the youth, and can you elaborate on that a little bit? Kind of what some of the
Yeah,
things you do?
yeah. Sorry, don't need to cut you off there. Yeah, look, it's always something kind of okay. It was kind of something just you know, kind of fell into my hands. It kind of went hand in hand with from the area I'm from, Drogheda here, and you know, yeah, just like I said, it's the biggest town in Ireland, but like it's a small town in the sense like everybody knows each other, you know. So there's like a population of like 60 odd thousand people. Um, it's they're trying to get city status, but anyway, like it's you know it's a big community, but it's small in the sense everybody knows each other. So like I get a lot of support and a lot of local sponsors and stuff. So like I get a lot of people, you know, wanting to take photos with their kids or you know things like that. Like and it's just like you know it's kind of like nearly they say like you know I'm a good example and you know if the, you know I stuck in the good road and I chose the right things to do and obviously you know be well documented the things that happen here in the town and stuff and I was able to come out the better end of it and I don't even feel I don't feel like I'm special around. I just feel blessed the people I met and opportunities and stuff and I think then you know maybe I could be in a few years I could be someone that they could look up to or to be an example to say well you know and maybe I could be their blessing or you know so I think I'd love to get into something like that after, and it's you know, fighting's not forever, and even though it is your life, and it you know, it molded me into the person I am, but it's definitely something I would like to get into, you know, after or before, or you know, before I'm done, you know.
For sure. David, you got anything?
Could you see yourself, I guess, after? I mean, that's could be years from now, but like coaching or doing something in the community like that, like coaching the youth and amateur fighters, working up and stuff like that.
You know what? I wouldn't like to coach like lads like myself that are trying to, you know, chase a dream and make this a full-time thing. And I tell you why, because I know how much it goes into it myself, and then I see like, you know, say like my coach John Kavanagh, like he's like how many plus fighters on the mat at a time, and everybody wants a bit of him. And you know, for me, when I'm starting to be done, like you know, I'll have you know I'll have a young family or I'll be just starting a young family. So like you know, I think that'd be that chapter in my life. But I'll always do some like sort of coaching and some sort of you know youth work. But as I said, like to really be you know the likes of like a John Kavanagh or a Faraz Sahabi or I just really think that takes a special person and a lot like it's more like it's a lot of time on the road. It's a lot of it's more commitment than a fighter, even I think, you know, because as I said, you could have, you know, how many plus people wanting to bit you, and you know, I'd feel a lot of responsibility, you know, with that. Like, you know, if I got a 20-year-old lad coming up to me saying I want to go pro, or, you know, I'd feel a lot of, you know, it's a big thing, you know what I mean? So I think after I'm done, I'll definitely always be coaching and helping out, but I think that is a special type of person, if that makes sense. You know, I don't see myself in open up a gym or anything like that. You know, it's a lot, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's like you said, it's a career in itself, and that's why Kavanaugh, you know, is dedicated the rest of his life to it. So after you fought, let's just say you fight 30 times. I mean, it would be tough to turn around, have a family, and basically you're fighting again by coaching, and even more because you got 7 or 8 people, like you said. So I definitely understand that.
Big time, big time. And like you said, it's you know, yeah, you have to split yourself in two, and then like that, you know, everybody knows you can't have your eggs in two baskets. You know, you have to be all in one thing. And at the minute, for me, I'm all in on this. And then when that chapter comes in my life, you know, I'd like to, I definitely want to, you know, go into that, you know, to go away. And I definitely do see myself maybe, you know, like something like getting into like, you know, I did a bit of coaching in schools and stuff, and I'd love to maybe, you know, get martial arts into school here because it's not a big thing. I know where you are. You have wrestling, and I love that. Like you know, and that's probably why the Americans are doing so well. You know what I mean? Like you know, you have that since a young age. Whereas over here, GAA, you know, Gaelic and hurling is our sport. You know, so it's not like it's obviously massive through Conor, but it's not like our main sport, you know. So I'd love to get something into that. Maybe, you know, getting into schools, or maybe even, you know, becoming like a part-time PE teacher, and like, you know, start to maybe, like, you know, break the barriers and maybe get, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? I think it would help a lot of people, because, as you know, martial arts, it gives you a lot of confidence. And not to get into too much, you know, yourselves, I don't have to explain it. It changed my life, the person I am, and giving me the confidence and even to talk to two of you, you know what I mean? I never met, and, you know, even to think that you would want to talk to me, you know what I mean? Things like that. Like, I just think it's massive, and I think, yeah, I'd love to get that into the schools, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I guess before we get off here, do you want to go? Can we talk about the UFC fight from last night for just the main fights?
Yeah, of course. Walk away, lads.
Yeah. So, what did you think about the main event with Volk and Yair?
Yeah, actually, it was a savage fight, lads. John actually, you know, kind of sent us all a little message, and he was like, "Here's a homework for tomorrow. You know, Monday morning is that fight." You know, so we were all kind of, you know, watching it, and yeah, like that. I thought it was savage, man. I thought, to be honest, I thought like Rodriguez was probably going to be a little more aggressive with his kicks. You know, I thought he'd be a little bit more reckless. You know, because I know how good he is in the ground, but he was a lot more respectful and of Volkanovski's ground game, you know. And we seen that in the first round, you know, when he caught the kick, he got on top, and he wasn't, you know, he did well. He was able to get back up, but like obviously Volkanovski was able to do a bit of damage and got the round, you know. So I think after that, maybe I think that really, you know, I think that steered the fight, you know. And
Yeah,
then obviously I think the big major one there would be the Robbie Lawler fight. I think that was like that. I think the press conference, reporters are asking, you know, what's, you know, it's mentioning Conor and this, not, nah, like, you know, how could you not go out in that 38-second knockout? Just
yeah,
leave him through it. And,
that
you
was
know,
badass.
yeah, let him retire. That was, how could you wouldn't want a better way to go out. And then, big shocker for me, Whittaker getting knocked out, man. That, I love Whittaker. I love it. Yeah, that was, I wouldn't have put my money on that. And, I can't even say his name right, but I wouldn't have put my money in that guy, the South African, and Duplessis, I think it is. But yeah, like, he's a beast, and obviously set a big fight with the lads. And then yeah, obviously probably one of my favourite fighters, the man Moreno. I mean, you know, just he's probably had the most iconic 5-round fights when you think about, you know, his fights he had with the Figueiredo, and you know, obviously the third fight with that guy, you know. It's his career alone. I mean, how many 5-round fights has he had now? He's probably due a little
Yeah.
year break, maybe after, you know, to maybe come back. But yeah, like that, delighted for the Brazilian. They can't, again, bad with pronouncing names, but yeah, great fights, man. And it was probably the Moreno fight that I really enjoyed the most. You know, I don't know if you use that, but that was probably the
Yeah, that was a war for sure. That was awesome. But anyway, I think Dricus Duplessis, I think that's how you say his name. I probably messed it up. But we're trying to get him on the podcast hopefully soon. But I think he's a problem for Izzy for sure.
big time, man. I think you know what, I think Jan, that fight with Jan, you know, that really I think that really showed, you know, that he's beatable, you know what I mean? And like, I think maybe people like that one's under the radar, that win, a little bit, you know. I think people don't respect Jan as much because of that, and it's kind of overlooked, you know. I think it just shows how good he is, you know, and I'm really looking forward to his fight with Pereira as well, you know. So yeah, like that. I think that Duplessis guy, I think he's a problem, man. He's a big fella. He's had to get the nose fixed and the breathing problem in the whole. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the whole, you know. I don't know if it's, you know, it's not really racial things, but you know, not staying around. It's nothing to do with that. But like, I get the kind of bit of beef. He lives in Africa. He trains in Africa. You know, I get that. You know what I mean? And I suppose it's a bit of hype, but like I said, I think it's probably the guy to do it. But then, as we know, you know, Adesanya, he could probably just blast him. You know, so we don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Anything you want to add, David, before we get off here?
No, I agree. I was just saying that's what I was thinking with I was telling Andrew yesterday with the deviated septum and all that with the oxygen. I'm just a Robbie fan, so I was like, I think Robbie, like he's a good guy perspective. He's got that right hand, left hook, throws those nasty kicks. I was like, I didn't know how Dricus with the oxygen thing, how much better it was going to make him, but if for sure he applied, his pressure is undeniable, especially now that he can breathe more than 8%. So
Big time, man. Yeah, big fella for the weight class as well. And again, like I said, I thought Whitaker's, I thought Adesanya's is his kryptonite, but man, he showed by beating that guy. He's ready. He's ready.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, man, we really appreciate you coming on. This was a good one. So, like I said, we're gonna make a bunch of clips and promote this, and we'll collaborate with you if that works for you.
Class, thanks a million for having me on. And yeah, 100%. Just send over the links, and we'll walk away from now.